Well, good afternoon. This is your Barefoot Country Cook back in the kitchen again, and I'm going to show you how to make a very hearty and very delicious and flavorful vitamin-packed soup using kale, using sweet potato, using turkey sausage, onion, and chicken broth. Well, the first thing that you're going to need, and I don't have it on the table here, is you're going to need 1 container of the chicken broth plus 4 cups of water, and put that in your pan. Then you're going to take 1 can of navy beans or whatever beans that you like. If you don't like navy beans, use something else. And then some turkey smoked sausage. Now this is the turkey smoked sausage link. I preferred the ground, but the store didn't have any. So if you don't find any turkey sausage ground, you can use the links. The trick is you got to peel that little skin, even though it's edible on the outside. You need to peel that off. And so I'm going to show you kind of how to do that. It's kind of like peeling an onion. You just kind of put your knife there and you grab the skin and you pull it. Grab the skin and pull it. It's a casing that is totally edible, but in the soup you don't want that casing in there to have to chew through. That's why if you can find the ground turkey sausage, it's much better. If you like spicy, get the spicy turkey sausage that's ground up. Or if you like mild, just get the mild. This is just a mild turkey sausage that I've got. You'll need 1 nice big sweet potato. And you're going to need a medium-sized onion that you're going to dice that up, which I have already done. I've peeled the sweet potato. A beeping noise going on back here. Refrigerator door does beeps if it's not shut all the way. So I'm peeling off this skin, just like this. And you want about a 1/2 pound to 3/4 pound of your sausage, ground or link otherwise. And you want to, if you're going to use the link sausage like this, you want to make sure that you dice it up good and small. Because if you're using the ground, of course, it's going to be tiny little granules in your soup. And that's what's nice. But my grocery store didn't have any this time. I don't know why. So I'm just going to go down the length of it and make little 1/4 inch thick slices. Like this. And then I'm going to do it. Put it back together and then do the same thing. Little 1/8 inch to 1/4. Actually, these are about 1/8 of an inch. And then I'm going to go across it so I have these nice little tidbits of the turkey sausage to go into the soup. Like that. I'm not using the big knife on this because I do not want to cut my finger. So now I've got this diced up turkey sausage, no skin attached. And I want to throw that right in the pot with the navy beans and the broth. And so everything's basically a cup. Unless you like more of one ingredient or the other. Sometimes people like a little bit more sweet potato than others. So I've peeled the sweet potato. And then what you want to do is you want to make these slices like this. Down the length of it. About a 1/4 inch. Again, smaller is better with this soup because you just want the flavors to just kind of explode while they're cooking. And then you're going to make little thin slices from this. Little 1/8 inch slices. And basically you're not mincing it, but you're dicing it really good. Now you can use a shredder like you would shred cheese, but it doesn't taste the same. There's already going to be shredded kale in this. Yes, I said kale. There's a lot of great vitamins in the kale, and as you can see, there's just little tiny bites. I've already put what I needed in there. I'm just going to add a little bit more. So that's going to be 1 to 2 cups of sweet potato, depending on how much sweet potato you want in there. The sweet potato is what makes this. This and the turkey together, the turkey sausage together, makes it wonderful. Nice and hearty. And the navy beans, I put them in there with the juice from the can of beans and everything. I did not drain them off. I didn't rinse them off because that brine that they are in the can gives you that little bit of salt that you need. And it also has gives it more of that bean flavor to it. So this is the rest of my sweet potato. I'm going to do something with these in the air fryer later. And then your medium onion. This was a really big onion and I cut it in half because I used it for some other things. And I'm just going to make little thin slices so I can dice this up. There's a lot of vitamin C in this soup. And a lot of flavor. If you want more beans in your soup, you can always add more beans if you prefer. Some people like lots of beans. I like mine to have at least a 50-50 ratio of the broth with whatever the vegetables and meats and whatnot that go into it. Now kale. Everybody fusses about they don't like kale. Well, if it's not cooked right, then yeah, I could see where you wouldn't like kale. But kale has so many great health benefits to it. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it helps with inflammation and things of that nature. So I'm just going to try to, of course this cutting board's not as big as I need, but I'm making nice little diced up onion here to put in the soup. Just like that. And over there, just scoop it up, throw it in the pot back here. Now I prefer to make it kind of slow cook because of all the flavor that comes out of this turkey sausage. I don't need the skins there. I just need the onion. Yeah, it kind of went everywhere. We have cats that are strays around here, and they love my little tidbits I put outside for them. Now, onions are very good for you, very beneficial health-wise. And I put onions in pretty much just about everything except my cereal, I think. So there's the rest of those onions. There. Now, kale. You want a full cup of kale in this soup. Or less, depending on if you just can't stomach the thought of it, but there's a certain way that you use kale in this soup. You'll notice kale has this really thick, hard stem. Well, we're going to, I call it deveining the kale, where you take a nice sharp knife and you basically separate the leafy part from the spine, just like that. You're not going to eat this part anyway. We're going to put that out for the deer. And you want to get at least a cup of kale in your soup. And another reason why you cook it slow is because the kale is kind of a dense, leafy thing. There's another one gone. And if you slow cook it, it makes it more tender, and the onions help make it tender as well. And then to chop up the kale, I just put my knife down with the point here, and I'm just going to slowly kind of like go across it. Oh, sweet potatoes in the way. Get those skins out of the way. Okay. We'll go like this. The pressure on the point keeps the knife where I want it, and the back end is what's actually chopping it up. And you want this pretty well cut up. So I'll cut it to that point, and then what I'll do is I'll take a smaller knife and just kind of saw through it. Make it good and fine. Kind of like you would do with cilantro. So the knife down, go pull the leaves and pull it. Pull the leaves, pull it. Just don't pull it through your fingers. I don't know what kind of knife skill you would call this, but this is how I do it. Like that. Some of you don't want a big, huge piece of leaf in your soup. Not for the soup, anyway. You want it as small as you can get it. Now I'll do this, and I'll go over it one more time with the big blade, just to make sure that I got all the big pieces chopped up, just like this. I can still hear it crunching. And then you can do this also. Just kind of there we go. So now you'll see it's very little itty bitty pieces, and that's what you want. You want that consistency. And that's going to go right in the pot over here. I'm going to stir that in. Okay. Now some people will put a little bit of olive oil in the pot. I don't all the time. It does give it a little nice consistency flavor. This is one of those soups that you don't salt it until about 30 minutes before you want to serve it, because not everyone, sometimes the ingredients from especially the sausage, the turkey sausage, will give it that salty taste already, and so you don't need to add salt. So I'll think of something to do with those. These are going to go to our furry friends outside. They love my little tidbits of this and that. That's the deveined kale, which I'm sure the deer are going to love this. Keep them out of my garden. And so to show you what the soup looks like, I've got it right. It looks like spinach soup. Now, honestly, it kind of is reminiscent of the spinach soup. So, oops. Alright, let me put this down this way. And I'm going to, so this way you can see, you can kind of see the orange and the onion and all of that inside. But that is going to be a good hearty soup. And very flavorful. Right now I've got it on low. And I'm going to turn the heat up to a medium-high. Let it come to a boil. Once it's at a boil, once the soup is at a boil, turn the heat down to medium and let it simmer. A nice simmer for a good 45 minutes, because that kale needs to absorb the liquid and soften up. So I hope you try this recipe, this turkey sausage kale soup. You can also jazz it up with other vegetables. You can put, sometimes like I'll put cabbage into it, and that makes it really good too. And just experiment with it. This is the basic recipe that I use, but I like to throw in cabbage once in a while, sometimes carrots, to go along with the sweet potato, give it an extra color. It's very tasty. Give it a try, and then let me know in the comments how you liked it. Thank you for watching. Please share my videos, and by all means, go ahead and subscribe for more.